I'm sorry, kill my parents.
What's your name?
Xana.
Xana, do you live here?
Yes.
No.
That's the most difficult question I've ever been asked.
Hello, happy Sunday, and lies, lies, and more lies. I think the real thing here is, in the Karen Reed case, is that we are not considering that these free Karen Reed people are actually even have the same information that we do. And I've realized this recently. On TikTok, there's been an influx of creators commenting on it, probably due to the documentary. And they don't have the information at all. There's some that are on the side of, even the ones that are on the side of, she did it. They don't have the information. Like, there's just a lot of missing information. So it's really interesting. I'm going to try to go live on TikTok at the same time. I'm going to try not to be distracted, but I was on live yesterday. There's like the two brothers from, I guess they're from Massachusetts. They're twins, the Dunkin' Donuts twins. And they did a live almost all day, and they were like challenging free Karen Reed people to be like, okay, why do you think that she didn't do it? And having them come up. And I was on it for probably like a half an hour or something, but I was listening. And it was just really interesting that they don't know anything. Like, nothing. It's like Sallyport, butt dials. They don't know anything about the actual facts of the crime, of the murder. But that's what it is. It's like Canton Library footage, Sallyport, butt dials. It's like, as soon as you tell them a fact about the actual murder that happened, they throw out like Colin Albert's bloody knuckles. Like, it's unbelievable. We live in the age of information. I can't imagine that people are commenting on something without ever, reading into it a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think I would start commenting on it. I mean, I guess in the beginning of the Free Karen Read, I did comment on it. I read Turtle Boy, but which is not the right thing to read in this case. But as soon as I got a hold of the court documents, that's when I knew I was going to dive more into it. And at that point, that's when I was kind of like, I think the first read through, I was, still looking from the perspective of she's being framed. But it was like, there was a lot of things in there that first read that I was just like, oh, that's not good. She really said that? Like, she was saying all these things to all these people in the morning. Like, and then the second read through, it was more like, okay, but maybe it was an accident. But now at this point, and I think she's done it to herself, because like I've evolved on the issue where I thought she was completely, it was accidental. But at this point, the things that she said, and that now that we know that Turtle Boy was like acting as on her behalf, completely on her behalf, whether she admits it or not. I mean, we've seen texts. We know she's admitted in the documentary to harass witnesses. And that's not something that an innocent person would do. If I was on trial for something and Turtle Boy and those trash pink people were like showing up at my arraignments and harassing the witnesses, I would have a cease and desist, and I would be like, do not talk about anything to do with me. Like, I'm innocent. That evidence will stand on its own. And the complete opposite happened here. Like, there's no innocent person in the world that would want Turtle Boy and those weird people representing them. Like, there's just not. It's not reality. And, they can't see the forest through the trees because they're in there. They have friends for the first time. They feel like they're a part of something. And that's what it is. And they don't want to hear anything to the contrary of that. It's a cult. It really is a cult. And I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna how you deal with it. I mean, are they going to accept it ever? Are they going to continue? I mean, even in the beginning, before I even read that court document, I made one video that was kind of, I mean, it was like basically the facts, but the facts from the Turtle Boy perspective. So it was a little bit harsh towards, like, I didn't say a lot, but I said something towards like Jen McCabe, like How Long Did I Cold, Colin Albert. But even after posting that video, I felt like a little weird about it. Like I had some intuition about it. Like I was like, maybe there's something not right. And I knew that Turtle Boy was a scumbag. So I really, I didn't want to be on his side, but I did think that this, you know, I thought that he was a real journalist and this was a real case for him. So, I was wrong. And I should have trusted my intuition, but I didn't know if it was my intuition just because I kind of didn't trust Turtle Boy, which, I mean, maybe that's a good intuition, I guess. But I don't know. But this was a video I did a while ago. And I came across it today and I'm like, there's so many more things to add. Cover up a murder. Where would you plant the body? On my own front lawn. Are you joking? It's the best place to do it. Huh. Okay. Damn it! Where would you hide the body? Put them on the railroad tracks? Yes! Let's play. If you were to wake up early morning hours and your significant other is not home, what is the first thing that comes to mind? I would think they must have got hit by a plow. Hit by a plow? That's never happened to you before? No. Hit by a plow. Damn it! 0 people had that answer. What's your first thought? I'm gonna say crashed on a friend's couch. Yes! Okay. That's the stupidest answer. Congratulations, that was our #1 answer. All right. I'm being set up. Final question. Are you ready? If you find a dead body on the side of the road with taillight fragments all around it, what is the first thing you do? Arrest the McAlberts! Are you kidding me? All right, chance to steal. What would you do? I mean, I guess I would look for a car with a busted taillight. Congratulations! Yes! Let's play. All right. Yeah, this was easy. And no competition with this guy. I mean, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. And it's wild. So, I did this video like a while ago. And I know the pink bow tie. And it was like pink versus blue. And it was just like super obvious statements. Like the 3 that were on there were, where would you plant a body? And it's like Family Feud style. And, you know, the pink side is like, obviously on your own front lawn, right? And the other side is like, oh, like, I don't know, hide it on train tracks. So there's just so many things in this case that have fallen apart. So I've been following this for a while. So since 2023, I was the first one. Well, I might have been the first one to go live with Turtle Boy. And it was like, I had just read the probable cause affidavit. I had read, I think I stopped reading his blogs at one point, but I read a lot of them. And there were certain ones that really like, made me take a step back and like think. One was he posted all of it. He was like messaging Paul O'Keefe on Messenger and they were going back and forth. Paul O'Keefe wasn't really being rude, but he was like, you know, you got it all wrong. Why aren't you investigating her? Like, you're an investigative reporter, right? Why aren't you investigating her? There's Ring camera footage that's been deleted. Like, investigate her, something along those lines. Little did he know, or did any of us know, that he was working directly with Karen Reed at that point. And he had no interest. He's not an investigative journalist. I mean, that's what this has proven beyond all reasonable doubt, is he's not an investigative journalist. He was working directly for her to push her narrative, whatever that may be. That's not journalism. That is being a propaganda machine, a PR machine. And that's what we've proven. And so the things that he was saying on that live was really, pure propaganda. And then gaslighting, because I literally, the only information I had were from his articles, and then I read the affidavit. And there were so many things that were in that affidavit that he conveniently left out of all of his reporting. Primarily, in all of his reporting up to that point, he was saying Jen McCabe, talked Karen into thinking that she hit him. And, Jen McCabe Googled how long to die in cold, and Jen McCabe did this, Jen McCabe did that. But the affidavit very clearly lays out that Jen McCabe was just one supporting character. Like, there were so many people. She woke up the niece first thing in the morning. I think she was 13 at the time, saying, I think I did something to your father. Can you call him? And then had her call Jen McCabe. And then the niece said that Karen was calling all kinds of different people, telling them all different stories. Because at first she was saying that she left John O'Keefe at the bar, the Waterfall bar. And then Jen McCabe was like, no, Karen, we saw you outside my sister's. What do you mean? And then Karen changed it to like, oh, I was blacked out. I don't remember anything. Because she knew what she did. And I think it's like, at that point in time, I was kind of believing when I first read it that she, was kind of like, she definitely was fuzzy. Like, she wasn't clear, but she knew. And I think that she did hit his car on purpose in the driveway. Now, I didn't think that then. Like, I've definitely evolved on the issue. And the biggest thing that really has made me realize how evil she is, it really is like the collaboration with Turtle Boy, number one. And I think if that gets in the trial, she's done for, because no normal jury is going to be like, oh, that's fine. Harass all the witnesses' kids, go after like innocent teenagers, and have all these people come to their house. Like, Turtle Boy was showing up at their houses with mobs of people, screaming at them with the megaphone. And then his supporters, they're so demented that when he got arrested for witness intimidation, they're all like, all reporters should be so worried about this. Like, no reporter is going to people's houses with the megaphone and a mob of people. No reporter is telling people they're going to beat up their 17-year-old son on YouTube and trying to incite violence against them. Like, his supporters are like the sickest individual. Like, they're just like, I think they're really dumb, but like, if you're that dumb that you're that susceptible to evil, then you are just also evil. Like, that's, there's no two ways about it. Like the witch trials, where it was like one girl that started it all, right? That started saying this girl's a witch, and all those people that were like, yeah, she's a witch. That's what Free Karen Reed is. It's like, oh yeah, the McCabes, the Alberts, it's like this and that, because like the underlying thing back in the day of the witch trials, it was like, there was like this like skepticism against like females that were like single and, were intelligent, or like these that weren't the cookie cutter version of what a woman should be, right? And so it was very easy for people to like hate them. And the Alberts, police officers, townies, it's very easy to get people on board to hate them. And that's what Karen took advantage of, just like they did in the Salem witch trials. And so it's just unbelievable that people can't wake up. I mean, I think some people are, but then I think there's a lot of people that have realized, and it's a lot of creators, definitely LawTubers, but they don't care. They like, that to me is just evil. Like, that's straight evil. But I think the cult members, the ones that are like in it, that are like, the disgusting looking ones that are like showing up every day and screaming at people as they walk into court, like those, I mean, I don't know if they have the wherewithal. I think some of them will, like in a few years down the road, and they're going to be so embarrassed. Like, you spent all this time and you dedicated all this like energy towards this cause, and she's using you. She doesn't give a shit. She's buying $1,000 suits with the money as her brother's telling them, oh, skip your next meal. If you're going to have a large pizza, just get a small pizza and give us $1. Every dollar counts. They've raised $850,000 off of poor people. Like, it is beyond. Her supporters really think they're like doing something. They really think they're a part of something. And Karen Read is evil. Thank you, Jill D. Thanks for reporting with humor and integrity. I try. Love your videos. I really appreciate the work and time you put into fighting for justice for the O'Keeffes and the witnesses. I mean, I do think, so in a way, even though I'm not doing this for money per se, everyone is doing things for themselves to some degree. So like the Free Karen Read people, they are doing it because they feel good. They've, to have a cause the same way I feel good. So I'm doing it for myself because I feel good speaking up for people that don't have the voice, like don't have a voice. And in the beginning, the O'Keefe family and the witnesses did not have any voice. I think a lot more people have spoken up since or have realized since. But, everyone has like their own motivations for doing things. And I mean, the Free Karen Read people, like it's definitely selfishness. It's definitely not about John O'Keefe. They could give a shit about him. They're going to bars with his brother, a cutout of his brother, and bringing him to bars to like bully the murdered victim's brother. Like, how sick is that? It is just so sickening. I mean, what will a lot of these people do after the trial? I mean, to me, I'm kind of like, I just can't wait for this to be over. I don't even want to know if I want to do social media anymore. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I want to see this through. But I'm also like, I can't wait to just be like free of this kind of, because the people are just so nasty, and like the interactions that I've had with people, I just think it's like, ugh. Like I stopped, like, I still follow politics, but I stopped like really following it just because of how nasty things gotten. This case has gotten like that, where it's like tribalism. It's like there's sides, and like, I don't think you should have a side in a murder case ever besides the truth. So I don't understand. Like, it's like, it's frustrating. I just wish that, I don't know. I just hope that that things go the right way. Like what Karen Read has gotten away with in this case, hopefully nobody ever is able to get away with this again. Because I think harassing witnesses and victims' family, like, it's awful. And like, people really need to start looking at like what went on here. Why was it allowed? I mean, the stuff with Turtle Boy going to the houses with the megaphone, like, yeah, he got arrested, but he hasn't stopped. He's still talking about these people every day. And, Massachusetts is lenient. I think there's other states that would have been a lot more serious. I think you're innocent until proven guilty but I don't think if you're harassing and launching campaigns against witnesses and the victim's family, and now we know when Turtle Boy was calling the victim's mother, see you next Tuesday, and screaming at his brother, calling him pathetic and disgusting. That was Karen. We have text messages from Karen telling him to do it. The victim's family. All right. So you can say she's innocent until proven guilty, but she's guilty. I mean, just from that, she's guilty of some crime. She's intimidating witnesses. And, she scrubbed her phones when the cops came so that they couldn't see the relationship. She pretended that they didn't know Turtle Boy when she was literally feeding him the story. He's not an investigative journalist. He was literally pushing her agenda out to attack people. He was going into Canton, like into the town records to find out like where there's rifts between people, pitting people against each other, to push Karen Reed's story. This is evil. Like, if you've ever seen the movie Needful Things, like that's what this reminds me of. It's like, it was a Stephen King book, and it was like this guy opened the store in like a town, and it was like a small town, but everyone had like these underlying issues with each other, right? And this guy in the town would have like objects that people wanted, and he'd be like, instead of payment, you need to do this favor for me. And he was like pitting all the people in the town against each other. And that's what Karen Reed and Turtle Boy did in this town. They ripped the town apart. And, you know, it used to be a nice town. But now it's like everyone is at each other's throats. Nobody trusts anybody. Even the O'Keefes, when they were talking, they're talking about, they have a very close-knit circle because they don't know who's believing the Karen Reed crap. So they don't know who they can even trust. They don't even, you know, like that's the problem. Like in Massachusetts in general, like you don't know who you know, you don't want to talk about this case with a lot of people because like the Free Karen Reed people are mental and they don't have the facts. And that's the problem. That's why they believe this nonsense. But I think the biggest thing that has come out, or that I've been thinking about since the documentary, is Karen Reed saying that she pulled glass out of his face, like a big chunk of glass. And if you look at the autopsy photo, I'm going to see if I have it on here. I don't think I can pull it up because YouTube hates that. I don't remember if it's like in the middle of his nose, but I remember always the cut on his nose. I remember that because like that was the thing that made it look kind of like a broken nose. But now we know that it was a big chunk of glass sticking out of his face, and Karen pulled it out. But the funny thing is that the other two people that were there said that didn't happen. And in the documentary, Karen says she plucks this big piece of glass out of his nose and blood starts like, I don't know if she said squirting or pouring out, one or the other. But at the time that they found him, I don't think his heart was still pumping. He wasn't bleeding. So why would she make that up? And the only explanation is that she did pull a piece of glass out of his face because she filmed this before the trial and she thought that, you know, maybe her blood, maybe she cut her finger, maybe her blood was going to be on him or something. And she had to get ahead of it before it came out. So the only explanation is that she was back there before she found him with the two women because his heart wasn't pumping. He couldn't have been spilling blood if she pulled that out of his nose. So she went back and at some point, either probably closer to when she hit him, and pulled the piece of glass out, realized he was dead, and then, you know, went back, probably freaked out, and, you know, by 4:30, because, I mean, 4:30, she was, dropped him off at like, or they got to the house at 12:30, 4:30. That's only 4 hours. It's not a lot of time. So whatever time she pulled that glass out of his face, his heart was still pumping. And so she knew she hit him. She knew he was laying there dying in the cold and she let him die. Like, that's murder. That is murder. It's as plain as day. The Lexus data 1000% proved that she hit him. It shows that she was backing up 24 miles per hour, 60 feet, then hit something. And at the same exact time, John O'Keefe's took his last steps and his phone never moved again at 12:32. And now we know that there's more data. There's more data. So like she, you know, I think they have the location of the car now. So, and think about it. Lexus, her brother works at Lexus. So if there was anything wrong about that data, they would have had someone last trial, an expert from Lexus, because her brother works there. It would be very easy for her to get an expert to come and say, like, that's not what that data means. But they didn't even have someone come last trial. So the Lexus data is solid. Lexus will stop before impact only going under 5 miles an hour. And that same argument, like, how did she hit his car in the driveway then? You know, you can't have it both ways. Will it hit someone or won't it? So the automatic braking happened, like it says, that it happens under 5 miles per hour. But she did hit his car in the driveway. That was under 5 miles an hour. So she either shut it off to hit his car on purpose. You know, the cover up already began. And she knew that she had to get on top of his body. She had to be the one that found him, because who knows if she cut her finger, if her blood was, who knows why. But she was in a rush to get back there. First thing in the morning. I don't know what else, what other explanation it could be. And Arca was paid $24,000 by the defense, and they lied about it. So that's a big thing. Lexus only stops at slow speeds. I had a Lexus too, the same exact year. And it always was like, it would slam on the brakes when I was parking. It's park assist. So that's why I don't know, did she shut it off? Sometimes if the snow was on the back of the car, it wouldn't, like the sensor would not work. But I don't think there was snow in the back of her car when she backed out of the garage. I think I distinctly remember the car was pretty clean, which would mean that if she did pluck a piece of glass out of his face, it was much earlier in the night, because I don't see any tire tracks on the ground or anything. It was just like fresh snow. So at 5 in the morning when we see her pulling out, like, she was home for a while. So I don't know. There's not a lot of reasonable doubt. Like, I know that that's what her narrative is, and like you're repeating her propaganda, but there's not a lot of reasonable doubt. Like if you think about Scott Peterson case, Scott Peterson, we don't know how his wife was killed, where she was killed, and when she was killed. We just know that she was killed, and she was found where he was fishing the next day. And he was convicted. Like, there's way more reasonable doubt in that case than in this case. We know down to the second when he stopped moving. We know down to the second. And her story has changed so many times. Like, now that they can bring her interviews in, she said he wasn't mortally wounded in one of her interviews. This was clearly a mistake. She goes, I thought I could have clipped him, but he didn't look mortally wounded. What does that mean? What else could that mean except that she saw him go down, but she was pissed and she left those angry voicemails, those 4 or 5 angry voicemails, and then cooled down. And then she got nervous in the middle of the night, went back, plucked glass out of his face, and, you know, realized that he never got up and was panicking, didn't know what to do. She's calling her parents. No one's answering, so she woke up the niece around 4:30. She connected to the Wi-Fi at 12:36. She hit him at 12:32. You can get across town in under 4 minutes when it's nighttime. The only reason that GPS map says 6 minutes is because of traffic, because of lights. But at night, there's nobody on the road, and it's a straight shot. Like, easily you can get there in 4 minutes. And, you know, you can connect to Wi-Fi earlier than, because she didn't get into the house until 12:41. That's what we hear on her butt dial. Oh, Karen Reed did a butt dial, but I guess it's okay for her. So on her butt dial, when she's in the garage, tiptoeing around, we know she's looking at the damage on her car. I mean, there's no other explanation to what happened to her car, because we know it didn't happen going 1 mile an hour. So like, if that's why there's no reasonable doubt in this case, like what happened to her car? Her car was not cracked up the night before. Her car's cracked up in the morning. We see it on camera at 5 a.m. when she leaves that house. We see it at 8 a.m. when the dash cam shows up. So there's no reasonable doubt at all. Like, compare it to like, so like if you think like O.J. Simpson, to some degree, like there was a lot of evidence in that case, but there was reasonable doubt. Like we didn't have his movements every moment. You know, we didn't have a murder weapon that literally like told us like, yeah, this is when he started stabbing. We didn't have him go back to the scene and say, I did it. Like, he didn't wake up his kids and say, I did something to your mother last night, and start calling people like a maniac. You know, there's a lot more evidence in this case than most cases by far. And that's why she hired this propaganda campaign, because she knows that she can't get around the evidence. So her only way out is to manipulate, like to push out propaganda through people, through creators that will like push out whatever her narrative is and, you know, try to taint the jury pool. That's why it has become this. Because if there was evidence, like you would sit and be nice and act like a normal human being and, you know, have the evidence stand for itself. But she knows that the evidence is insurmountable, especially the new data, especially if she can map out where her car is. Yeah, why would you call your parents after 1 a.m.? I don't know how many times she called the parents. I don't know if that will come out. But that was kind of a new thing. We didn't really know about that in the first trial, or it wasn't brought up. I think they might have mentioned it, but it wasn't like a big thing. Only Ryan Nagel said that. So Ryan Nagel, the 3 kids that pulled up behind her in the car, you can watch their testimony. I think it's Ricky, Heather, and Ryan. They intersected with each other. Karen went first. They pulled behind her, so they were behind her the entire time. Nobody got us out of the car. His phone data shows he never got out of the car. So, but they did see him when they were like pulling up, so they know that John was in the car. They all testified no. And if someone got out of the car, would you have seen them? Yes. We were looking at the front door. We were waiting for his sister to come out. We would have seen someone. Like 1000%. They all said that. So like he did not get out of the car. His phone data also shows he didn't get out of the car until I think 12:32 was when his last steps were, his final steps. And so now we know that he was connected to our Bluetooth. And so the Bluetooth thing, what we know, like, I think he just mentioned it in passing. I don't think I've seen like anything official about it, but he said like, we know that he was connected to our Bluetooth until 12:30, which also shows he didn't go in the house because Bluetooth only has I think it's 33 feet in perfect weather conditions. So the front door of that house, like that house has more than 33 feet back off the street. So he didn't go in the house. He was still connected to her Bluetooth. And I think Jen McCabe called at 12:29 or something. And so that must have came through the Bluetooth in the car. And that's when Karen disconnected his phone from the Bluetooth. And that's probably when he started getting out of the car. But Ryan Nagel was already gone at that point. I think Ryan Nagel left at 12:29 or something, or that's what they're estimating. But we know that they arrived in tandem. So there's no way around it. Well, the Bluetooth, like if you Google it right now, I mean, Bluetooth, I think they say level 1, level 2, level 3, but cars are level 2, I think, and it's 33 feet. I know I have pulled up to my house and like someone's phone connected and I could hear their conversation on their phone. That's happened to me before, but my house was very close to the street. It wasn't back off the street like theirs was. So 12:32 to 12:36, you can get across town in that amount of time. You can try it yourself. The only reason that map says 12:36 is because there's a lot of traffic in Canton because they only have like 2 main streets. But this was like late at night when all the bars are closed. Like you can just get right across town. Karen did not leave at 12:30. Like there's no evidence of that. So I don't know why someone's saying that. I think we have her location. I think now they have the Lexus location. So like, she's really screwed. And this is the thing, like the goalpost just keeps moving for the free Karen Read people. So first it was like Colin was an MMA fighter and like, oh no, Colin was a rug dealer and John turned him in. This was the lie. I think Sean McDonough started this lie and that went on for a while. And it come to find out, John O'Keefe did report someone in his neighborhood, but it was not Colin Albert. And, that's been long gone. That's been long debunked, but I heard a creator the other day talking about that as if that's like a new theory. Like, no, that was 2 years ago. And then Karen went on a podcast and said that John and Colin didn't have any beef, which is really strange for her to come out with that because now they're saying he's a third party culprit again. So Like, her story has never been consistent. And people that support her are either like just disregarding that and just accepting that they're supporting a killer, helping a killer get off, or they're dumb. Like, there's no, like, you're either evil or you're dumb. Like, there's no two ways about it. It's not a 6-minute drive. I don't know why people keep saying that. Go do it tonight. It's not. You can easily get across town in 4 minutes. And she was mad. The data on the Lexus showed that she was mad. Like, the first time that she drove by the street, she was already driving erratically, making the 3-point turn real fast, like mad. She was already pissed. It had just started snowing. It wasn't even sticking yet. These are the facts. Like, I don't know what you, like, all right, so what happened to her taillight? Like, what, I don't know what people think. Like, do you think space lasers, like, attacked her car? Do you think that the Alberts were all like, let's kill this guy? We don't know if Karen's coming in, because Karen was invited. So, like, they just got lucky that she didn't come in the house. They killed him. They got lucky that she never called and texted, even though she lied and said that she was calling and texting sitting outside the house. She lied. She never called and texted. And what woman in the world is going to be like letting her boyfriend with no jacket in a blizzard be like, yeah, go check and make sure like we can come in. Like, Karen is like the epitome of etiquette. She's like, oh, I don't want to intrude, even though she was just invited. Jen McCabe called them 2 minutes before they got there to give them the exact address. So, like, there's no reason for him to go and run in the house and check in the first place. So, like, we know that she's a liar. Like, I don't understand why anyone would believe her. It's maddening. It's, like, so unbelievable. Like, she's been caught in lie after lie after lie. You can't continue to believe someone that keeps lying. And like, so the new evidence comes out, she changes her story again, and everyone's just like, oh, we forgot. Like, it's crazy. It's because people want to be against the corruption. They want that narrative, and they're willing to hurt innocent people to have their ego enjoy that we're fighting corruption narrative. It's sick. It's demented. I mean, remember the library footage? Whatever happened to that? Like, there's like a long list of things that have been debunked. The library footage. Oh, the deleted library footage. Remember that? It does matter if she lied. The facts absolutely show that she hit him beyond any reasonable doubt. Like, space lasers didn't just come and attack her car. I'm coming there with my megaphone. I probably am going to be there at least I don't know when, but I do have to get up to Massachusetts. So, I don't know. I don't know when, I don't know how long this trial is going to go on for. Last one was a while. It was like 2 months, right? Or longer, like 3 months. Because there was like a lot of holidays and stuff. April, May, June. This time there shouldn't be as many holidays. I mean, I think Hank has some stuff up his sleeve. Cars don't bite. Like, that's the first time I ever heard that. That's like the dumbest thing. Like, literally not one medical examiner said lacerations. Not one medical examiner said punctures. So they're abrasions. So it's a dog just grazing its teeth across his arm. Like, are you people that stupid? There's no DNA. Like, what are you talking about? It's like a mythical dog with no DNA, no bottom jaw, and a hover bite. Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, it's like the stupidest thing I've ever, like, I can't. So the Ring video, who knows if they have better evidence now, but I mean, it's clear that she deleted the Ring video. A dog bites and pulls away. And we have an example of Chloe's bite, because Chloe did bite someone, and that's why they rehomed the dog. And guess what it looks nothing like? It looks nothing like what's on John O'Keefe's arm. But guess what does match John O'Keefe's arm? The taillight housing. So, I don't know. But, so library footage, like, that was a big thing for a while, and it was never... Turns out she was already connected to the Wi-Fi when the missing library footage that they deleted disappeared. I don't even think she drove that way, and they know which way she drove now. I think they knew that all along, and that's why, like, the Free Karen Read people can't open their eyes to see that they're getting played because they're dumb. Like, they knew all along that she didn't drive that way because the defendant knows what happened. And that's why the defense always has that advantage, because the defendant actually knows. They know when the Commonwealth's on to like a wrong path. And so like they know what to say, like they can help their defense, right? So like they always knew that she didn't go that way by the library anyway. They knew that they probably didn't know what time she was home. I think they were saying 12:41 because that's when they hear her footsteps on the floor. But the library footage wasn't deleted, so it's just so funny. Like, people just let all these things go. Like, Karen literally said he didn't look mortally wounded. What else could that mean? What else could it mean? He didn't look mortally wounded. Because she hit him. She thought she knocked the shit out of him. She was pissed. And he didn't look mortally wounded. So she didn't know that she was leaving him to die in the cold. Until she came back later and pulled the glass out of his face. And then she was like, oh, he's dying. I wonder. And then she wanted to wait a little bit longer because she was like, I'm going to be in trouble. He's going to wake up and tell people what I did. And so she let him die. And I mean, that's the only logical explanation. If she did pull a piece of glass out of his face, which she said she did. So I don't know why she would make that up. It doesn't make any sense unless she did it and she was trying to get ahead of something. Funny how even his brother said he looked like he was in a fight. Yet no one saw a body. All right, this person is like, his mom, 13. You're just repeating propaganda. Like, have you used your own brain before? Ever? No one saw the body on the lawn. Nobody even saw the body on the lawn when they knew the body was there. Only Karen could see the body. Nobody could see the body. It was in the far corner of the yard near the tree line. And even when first responders arrived with lights and flashing lights, they could not see the body from the street. But somehow Karen, like a bloodhound, sniffed him out and brought everyone up to him, dug him out of the snow. Like, use your brain just a little bit. Like, just use your brain. All right? Like, how did she know exactly where he was? Nobody else could see him. So, like, the argument, like, oh, nobody saw the body on the ground. Literally nobody could see him, even after they knew he was there. Like, you could not see him from the street. You couldn't see him. Lucky he even said you couldn't see him. So, I mean, Karen Reed just woke people up in the middle of the night and said John's dead, he got hit by a plow, then brought them exactly to where his body was, then starts saying to medics, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Like, there's no mystery here. All right, so frostbite, that's another propaganda thing. Frostbite doesn't show up until you warm the flesh up on an alive person. He never was warmed up alive. Like, frostbite shows up on living flesh. So, I mean, so I can see that you're just repeating what you see in comment sections because you have never used your brain in your life. But, yeah, no. I mean, she's beyond guilty. She's guilty of other things besides murdering him. She's guilty of harassing witnesses and everything else. So the dog bites, like, once you look close at them, even the expert that claims they're dog bites could not point out a single dog bite on his arm because there's no anchor point. There's no dog bite. It's not there. It does look like that if you stand back and squint. And that's exactly what Karen Reed counts on in this case. You have to stand back and squint and just be like, oh, butt dial, Sally port, this, that, and look at everything else except for the facts. And the facts of the murder are like indisputable. So, like, you know, they're not dog bites. The feds hired an independent expert to come, and guess what? They said they weren't dog bites. It's only this lady from the internet that was watching this case and was like, I want to be a part of that. And she's like, I will say they're dog bites. But then she couldn't even defend it on the stand. She could not point out a single dog bite. She's a liar for hire. I mean, all right. So like, if we're thinking about like, this is what Karen Reed's team would do in the Idaho 4 case. So 4 people were murdered inside a house. You know, you have the guy's DNA on a sheath. You have the guy's white car driving around outside. You have, he bought, what is it called? A baklava. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Balaclava. It's like a ski mask, the one that the roommate saw inside the house. And, you know, there's probably other evidence that we don't know about yet. But if this was Karen Reed's team, they would be like going through the roommate's cell phone. Why did you call this person? Asking them, waiting too. So Karen Reed waited for 15 months before asking anyone about their phone calls. So they didn't even ask them about phone calls till 15 months later. So that would be like everyone, instead of looking at the actual murderer, the person that left DNA on the knife sheath, you're going to like criticize these people for who they called or not remembering phone calls from 15 months ago. You're going to ask them why they didn't call 911 right away, which, you know, people are going to ask them that. Why did they keep passing the phone around? Why were they hyperventilating on the phone? Why was this one not that upset? Why was this one doing that? Why was this one doing this? Instead of focusing on the facts of the case, which is 4 people just got stabbed to death, and you have the knife sheath of the murder weapon laying under them with someone's DNA on it that doesn't belong in the house. Like, it's not complicated. And like Karen Reed is like, oh yeah, look over here, dog bites, this, that, and that's what her defense is. It's muddying the waters because they can't even address any of the evidence. Like, it's like the evidence is like, oh well, it was wet. Proctor touched it. Like, there's no real defense. Like, Trooper Proctor was called in on his day off. He was on call. It was like his last hour of his on-call shift. And then he was stuck there all day. He has 2 toddlers at home. He is not planting evidence. He is trying to get the fuck out of there. And like, that's what it was about. It was about him being tired and trying to get the hell out of there and get home to his family. And, you know, he was pissed off probably. He said some things, but he wasn't planting evidence. And the feds, that's why the feds didn't indict him for anything. I'm like literally telling you the facts. I've been covering this for a year. Over a year, 2 years. Since before anybody else. Since right after Turtle Boy. And Turtle Boy's never covered it. He's never looked at the facts. He's only been repeating Karen Reed's side of the story. I don't think that the Ring camera across the street wasn't not working. I think the Ring camera across the street just is not aimed at the neighbor's house. You know, most people have it aimed towards their walkway. They don't aim it at the neighbor's house. Like, or they have it set so it's only set for a certain distance, you know, because it's motion activated. Like, who's going to set it to like record every car that drives by? Like, that's just wacko. I mean, if the camera was facing, I'm sure they would have got John's murder on camera. Too bad it wasn't facing. The touch DNA was on the taillight, the exposed housing of the taillight. It wasn't on the outside. It was on the housing. So the exposed housing of the taillight. And I mean, that's just one thing in a mountain of evidence. Like, I was never big on like the DNA or the hair. Different people look at different evidence differently. But I mean, but that's the thing, like, you're looking for things. All right, so in the Idaho 4 case, well, there was a Ring camera. Why didn't the Ring camera catch, you know, his license plate clearly on the video? So I guess he's innocent. He should just get away with it. Like, that's your argument. Like this is what the Free Karen Reed people do. Like, they don't make any logical sense. It's like this and that and this is missing, and he didn't come out of the house, and this and that. But the thing is, they were sleeping. It was a blizzard. Like, what are they going to come out the house to do? He was already gone in the ambulance by the time they woke up, and the cops were standing in their lobby. So like, are you going to talk to the cops and find out what happened? Or are you going to go stand on your front lawn in your boxer shorts and direct traffic? Like, what do you want them to do? And if he did go out there, everyone would be like, he tampered with the crime scene. He did this and that. So, I mean, there's no winning. I mean, look at the evidence. There's like indisputable evidence that there's no red pieces. You can't see any red pieces at 8 a.m. What happened to her car? That is the question. Like, the pieces were found on and around his body. The pieces are not there at 5 a.m. and not there at 8 a.m. Like, there's no way around it. Her car recorded her hitting something. His phone stopped moving at the same time, forever. But instead, like, people are talking about, like, was Brian Albert sleeping? Was he awake? Was he this? Was he that? Like, the facts of the case are that something hit her car hard enough to fuck it up. And, like, there's no explanation for it. Even if she tapped his bumper, it's not going to smash the taillight. It didn't put, like, the dent in her tailgate. So, like, and all of the pieces were all the way at the bottom of the snow. Who sleeps through emergency lights outside your house? Do you see how dumb this is? Like, so in the Idaho 4 case, like, nobody heard a scream, so I guess everyone in the neighborhood's guilty of murdering them instead of the guy whose DNA is on the knife sheath beneath the body. That's your logic. Like, come on. I know, Karen Reed should just take the stand and explain it all. She hit John's Traverse when backing out. All right, it's already been proven, and anyone with a brain knows that cars have bumpers, and you can clearly see that it is not, oh, I don't think I can pull it up on that screen, but I can pull it up on this screen. Ugh, always. But it's not, it's already been proven. Like, everyone knows the cars have bumpers, the taillight didn't hit, and there's a ding in the middle of the back of her car anyway. So, like, and the part of the taillight that was damaged was not the edge of the taillight. The part that was, like, missing a piece was in the center of the taillight. So it could only hit a person. Like, it would have to be a solid, like, it can't be a solid wall. It couldn't be a wall. It couldn't be another car. It has to be something that's jutting out in the center of the taillight. It would have to be like a tree limb or a hand or something. The tow truck owner said taillight not shattered. That's recorded. Yeah, the tow truck said that, but you have your own freaking eyeballs. Like, this is the gaslighting it is from the Free Karen Reed freaks. They're just like repeating this nonsense that doesn't matter because we have video of her leaving the house at 5 a.m. So, like, what does it matter if the tow truck driver didn't see it? Obviously, he didn't look then because we can see it with our own freaking eyes. We see it at 8 a.m. Like, what are you talking about? You're reporting nonsense. There's a lot of Free Karen Reed people on my TikTok right now. And they're like so dumb. They're just so dumb. Where is the bruising? So they're instead of looking at the evidence, they cannot explain what fucked up Karen Reed's car. All right, was space lasers involved? She didn't report to anybody ever that he went inside that house. Never. So why would anyone investigate that house? You know, I mean, if your loved one, you dropped them off at a house, somehow you like didn't call them, you just got pissed and you were like, I hate you, you suck, you're a pervert, you're cheating on me, I hate you. And then, you started calling people a few hours later saying, he's dead, he got hit by a plow. And then you bring them over right beneath the snow where his body is. And then you're like, well, why did people sleep? Why were people sleeping at 5 a.m.? Why didn't people wake up when they saw flashing lights? Maybe because there's plows going by every 5 minutes in a blizzard? I mean, come on. Like, use some common sense. Space lasers and space lifts move the body without blood trail in the snow. And that's the thing, too. All right, so let's take the approach that he got killed inside the house. All right, so he's killed inside the house. Karen Reed's sitting out there. What are they all looking out the window like, oh my God, she's going to come in. And this is not like a bender of like cops. Like a lot of people say that. It's Brian Albert and his wife. It was his son, 23-year-old son's birthday. And he had like a few girlfriends over. And Colin Albert, his younger cousin, 17-year-old cousin was there. Who left earlier. And there was a few other girls that left earlier. And so John O'Keefe comes in and they all just start like beating the shit out of him. Even though Karen Reed was supposed to be with them, but like she just didn't come in. But like the problem is his phone stayed in the car with her the whole time. So like, what are you talking about? So they beat him to death. He leaves his phone in the car with Karen, and then Karen's mad because he didn't call, even though the phone's right with her in the car. So what does she throw the phone out the window? Into the spot where they'll later plant his body, because that's what the data shows. The data is indisputable. The data shows that his phone did not leave that car with her and took its last steps at 12:32. That's what the data shows, and there's no way around it. So like, when did he go in the house? When did he get beat? All right, so let's pretend data is just a figment of everyone's imagination and all the witnesses are lying. He went in the house and they all beat him up, and there's like 12 people in on this beatdown, right? So they were like, you know what? The best thing we can do is put him on the front lawn. Let's put him right in the front lawn. You know, like, what are we going to do with his body? Let's just put him on the front lawn alive with a working phone. That is just a brilliant idea. And then, you know, there's no drag marks, there's no blood, there's no footprints, there's nothing going to and from the house somehow. Because facts aren't like a thing that Free Karen Reed deals with at all. So there's no evidence whatsoever. And then everyone's sleeping. You know, like everyone just went sound asleep. And if there was blood, there'd be blood all over the place. They would have been cleaning that all night long, but they were sleeping. And we know for a fact that Jen McCabe was sleeping because we have her Apple Health data. She was sound asleep, but right before she went to bed, she was like, oh, how's long to die in cold? Right as she's checking a basketball score. Come on. Like, have some common sense. You guys just want to believe in this corrupt conspiracy instead of looking at the facts. And Karen Reed and nasty, disgusting killers like Karen Reed love stupid people like you. Because they can sell you anything, because they know you're gullible fools. And that's why she chose Turtle Boy, because she knows that Turtle Boy has a connection to the idiots. And that's what she wanted, a bunch of idiots to like spread her propaganda all through the internet. John's brother told Karen he looks like you in 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. Well, Paul O'Keefe is not a medical examiner. He saw 2 raccoon eyes. He's not a medical examiner. Maybe, do you think that like regular people from the internet should be able to testify that, oh, he got beat up in the house instead of a medical examiner? Like, is that your argument? Like, Free Karen Reed people are just the dumbest people on the planet. It's like there's just no logic whatsoever. So, all right, so then they planted his body out there, and then somehow Karen just like, I don't know, did someone brainwash her? Maybe someone hypnotized her in the car, like, and was like, you know what, Karen, you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and start calling people saying, I hit him. I did something to John. I think he's dead. I think he got hit by a plow. And, you know, so Karen complied, and then Karen called these people and brought them right back to where his body was and said, I hit him to the medics, and he was acting hysterical. And the Albert's just lucked out, right? Because all of this just happened by itself. And Karen's car, who knows what happened to it? Like, just something else. Like, space lasers got it. My God. Like, the Free Karen Reed people really are, like, the dumbest people on the planet. It's, like, scary how dumb they are. It doesn't matter if she said, did I hit him or could I have hit him? It's the same thing. She said it. She admitted saying some iteration of that. Like, the semantics, like, argument is, like, stupid. Because if she saw him go in the house, she would not have said, could I have hit him? Point blank, end of story. And she never said that until years later. A year and a half later. And she didn't say it to the police. She didn't say it to investigators. She said it to freaking Dateline. Are you stupid? Like, if your boyfriend got killed in a house, would you let yourself be blamed for it and keep it to yourself, not talk to any friends, not tell anybody about it? And then a year and a half later, you just go on Dateline saying, oh yeah, by the way, I actually did see him go in the house, so. You wouldn't. Nobody would. And if you're saying that, and if you can't accept that Karen Reed did it and she's lying, then you're an idiot. Like, there's no two ways about it. Thank you, Jackie Blue. Matt, I've been binging on your videos this weekend. It's so refreshing, and you are truly an artist. Thank you. I need the humor and love the truth. I try. I mean, some of the stuff is pretty humorless, but I know. I mean, Free Karen Reed is just they just want to be a part of something so bad that they will deny facts and deny the truth and deny the obvious. I mean, imagine if every crime was solved by a free Karen Reed person. Every murderer would be free and every innocent person would be in Guantanamo Bay being tortured. Like, that's what free Karen Reed believes in. It's psychotic. They're really psychotic. It's not normal at all. Not normal behavior. Did anyone see her hit him? No. Does anyone see most murders? No. What does that mean? Does that mean murderers should just get away with it because no one saw them do it? Like, what even is that argument? Like, you people tapped? You're repeating, like, lame-ass arguments from Turtle Boy. You're denying facts. And the fact is that the car shows her hitting something, backing up, going 24 miles per hour. And the fact is at the same exact time, his phone stops moving permanently. The fact is that there's no other place that could have messed up the back of her car. That's the fact. The fact is that the pieces of the murder weapon are found all over him and around him. The fact is that she's the only one that had access to the murder weapon. The fact is that she coincidentally started saying, I think he got hit by a plow before finding the body. The inverted video! Oh my God, that's another one. I need to make a list of these idiotic things. Because it is just like, when you start talking facts, then it's like, Sally Port, Colin's Knuckles, inverted video, dog bites. Like, it's like they start having Tourette's as soon as you start talking facts to them. It's like Tourette's of nonsense. I mean, that's what Karen Reed's defense is, Tourette's of nonsense. The explanation of the thrown out phones, rehomed dog, redone basement. So the redone basement, from what I know, the basement was done before because they were selling the house and they redid something. I don't know, something in the basement, some part of it, not the whole basement, but some part of it. But like if you're selling a house, there's a lot of times when you do redo things, like if you have a leak, you have to fix it. So, I mean, I don't think they were already in the process of selling the house. A dog bit someone. A lot of times people get rid of a dog if it bites someone. I don't think that's hard to figure out. And then the phones, I mean, that one's pretty obvious. Like, look what they did with Jen McCabe and Trooper Proctor. Like, this case, if you have not learned anything, this case should tell you, never just give up your phone. Because they're going to, like, take out messages out of context. They're going to see what you Googled. They're going to, like, try to change times on things. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. They didn't tear up the basement floor. That's not what they did. If you have nothing to hide, why trash phones? I just told you. So Proctor had nothing to hide. Like, on Proctor's phone, there was no evidence of a cover-up, but did he get fired? Yes. And that's why you would get rid of your phone, because you're talking about things you shouldn't. You're talking about confidential things. You're talking shit about suspects. That's why. Like, it's really not hard to figure out, is it? Yes, they did tear up the floor, and that was after the murder. They replaced some part of the basement because there was a leak. Like, but they were selling the house, so I don't think it's... He wasn't in the house, though. Like, his phone data. Like, you're ignoring the data that shows that he wasn't in the house. And the witnesses, the independent witnesses that were in the car behind him, that also say he wasn't in the house. So, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, no one went in the basement. Not a single witness or a piece of evidence said that. But yeah, so why do you think that Karen Reed locked the cops out of her house and factory reset two of her phones, or one of her phones? I think she only gave up one or something. But why would Karen Reed do that if she had nothing to hide? I mean, why did she factory reset her phone? I mean, I know why she did, because she was trying to hide that she was conspiring with Turtle Boy. Do you need phones to get information? I mean, there's probably certain information that's stored on the phone, but the Fed still got, like, texts and stuff. They still got a lot of information. Like, that's how we know about the butt dial from Brian Higgins to Brian Albert, because of the Feds. So even though they destroyed the phones, they still found the butt dial. But I'm sure that's not what they were trying to. I think they probably, I mean, to be honest, like if someone wanted my phone, I'd be worried about everything that's on it. You know, like I'd probably want to factory reset it too. Like I have no idea. Like it's not like that there's anything bad, but it's like, can they twist things? Can they say, oh, you looked at like this site about serial killers, you know? Like, I mean, you know, that is the kind of stuff that they do. So it is like, I have no idea. Like, I don't want them going through my, like, I don't even want to go through it. Like, even like Twitter sometimes, like there's been jobs where they're like, they want to see your social media. I'm just like, I have no idea what I said on that. And I just delete the whole thing. Cause I'm like, I don't even want to go through it, but it's like, I have no idea if something could be used against me that I said like 5 years ago. And that's why people get rid of their phones. Like it's not because people put murder information on their phone. What do you think? They had pictures of John O'Keefe in the snow? Do you think they were like, oh yeah, meet me here after you dump his body? Like they're cops. They know, they're smart enough not to put the evidence on their phone. They know that, you know, it's easy to get information from a phone. So it's nothing to do with the murder. It's everything to do with, I would not want my stuff on my phone. Like I don't want everything like exposed and like try to use it against me. I mean, it's just like stuff that you bought on Amazon. Like it's just everything, you know, everything you do is on your phone. I'm not even addressing that comment about I think I did in the beginning about that. That was like an old rumor, like a 2-year-old rumor. The How's Long to Die in Cold. So that search was, so the software developer literally published 2 articles, and I can tell you what they are. They're on Doubleback, where he did all the testing and was like, this timestamp is associated with when you open the browser tab and when it takes focus and da-da-da-da-da, and an iOS version. And then he went through all the iOS versions and how it's treated differently. And unequivocally, he said that search happened at 6:23, 6:24. The 2:27 timestamp is about when the browser tab was originally opened. And they even changed the software so that other people, other murderers can't try to twist things and use their software to get off. And like they publish that information. Like it's on their site. It's not that it didn't have the search. The search itself is shown at 6:23 and 6:24. The 2:27 a.m. timestamp is only associated with the browser tab. And the browser tab shows whatever's on it at the time. So it's 2 different things. And they just know, like, this is what it is. They want gullible people to repeat this stuff. Because it's not like, I don't think the jury believed it. So, and it wasn't deleted. So you can't delete those searches. What that timestamp, the DB browser suspended state tab, it's holding your tab. So like, you know how like you have all these tabs on your phone open, all the browser tabs. When you take focus of one, that's the timestamp that shows up. That's the time it shows up. And then when you close it, not close Safari. So like even if you close Safari and like text and call and whatever, that doesn't change the timestamp. But when you go to another tab or like move to another tab, that's what changes the timestamp. And so that's what it's all about. And so like it's Richard Green misconstruing what that timestamp means purposefully, probably. But like, there's no other expert that says that that's when it happened. There's, they changed the software, and it doesn't matter which software it is either. It's the way that the data is held. This is data only about those suspended state browser tabs. It's not about the Google search. I mean, people see this person that knows nothing about software is saying that's laughable. It definitely happened at 2:27. I guarantee that's a person that knows nothing about data, nothing about software. And I'm not saying that I know iOS at all. I don't, but I know other software, and everything has temp files. They're not deleted. They are temporary files. That's why your phone is not super slow. That's why it doesn't have to load all these pages. It stores those tabs temporarily so you can go to it and it doesn't have to like reload. That's what it's about. It's not about doing a search or doing anything on that tab. It doesn't record the time of doing things on the tab. It records times of when that tab is in the front. And that's what all of the experts say. So, I mean, people don't want to believe that, because that's like the biggest part of their conspiracy, right? And if they don't have that part of their conspiracy, the whole thing falls apart. But like, it doesn't even make sense anyway, because Jen McCabe's at her house Googling. At the same time, she's looking up like a basketball team, and then she's like, by the way, let's see how long it's going to take him to die in the cult. And then she just goes to sleep, because you can see her heart rate is the lowest it's been all day. She falls asleep. She gets up to go to the bathroom once in the middle of the night, and then Karen calls her and wakes her up. So it doesn't matter. Green is a fraud. Like, he sent in his resume, like, we get to see it. And on his resume, there was not even any classes. There was not even any official trainings. He watches webinars that anyone can access on Celebrate. And that was what was all on his resume. Like, I could literally find every single one that he listed and go in and watch it myself. Like, he is a fraud. Green has no idea what he's talking about. He has an associate's degree. He lives in St. Pete Beach, and he likes to grab women when he's drunk. And he's been arrested, and he lies to the cops. Like, that's not going to be allowed in the trial, but it should be, because he's lying to police. You should see this crack shack that he has his place in too. Let's see if I have it. I know I showed it at one point, but it's like a crack shack. Like, you can tell that there's like meth being dealt out of the back of the building. It has like McNasty's bar in the front. It has a tattoo parlor, and then it's like a smoke shop. And then there's Richard Green, like mobile forensics expert. Right. That's where you'd go. You'd go right to the crack house. And McNasty's is where he got arrested for groping a woman. And he said that the bouncer attacked him. And he tried to press charges against the bouncer. And then they had surveillance of him falling on the floor because he's fat and drunk. And he had to recant his statement, like pressing false charges, all this stuff. So he is a fraud. These are the people that Karen chose. She raised $800,000 from idiots, and then got this guy as her expert. She got the dog bite lady as her expert. Like, the only evidence at all that she got was from the feds, was ARCA, who I think that they are qualified. I think they knew what they were talking about, but they didn't test. They didn't have enough information. They didn't have enough information for to test it properly, whether that was by design, whether it was their choice, or whether it was the Fed's choice, or whether it was the who knows? We don't know. And that's what the whole controversy is about ARCA, is why did they shoot the car? Why did they shoot a glass in the back of the car with a potato cannon? Why? Did someone tell them to try that to see if it would break? Because that didn't align with any of the evidence. So either someone told them, directed them to do that, or they're idiots, and that was the best thing that they could come up with. And they just ignored, in all of their testing, they ignored the dent on the back of her tailgate. The dent that is like an elbow's length away from the smashed out taillight. The dent that clearly would line up with an arm holding a glass smashing against the back of the car. So was that by design? Were they directed a certain way? We don't know, but that's what we're trying to find out. They are a little bit well, TikTok is a free-for-all. I think that's what the difference is. But there's been a lot of people on TikTok lately that have been talking about it. Like the brothers, the Dunkin' Donut brothers, like the twins. They had a live yesterday, and they were just bringing people on to talk about Karen Reed. And, most people don't know anything, don't know any of the facts. It's shocking. Like, they know all of the conspiracy stuff, but they don't know any of the facts. Poor John. I hope he didn't suffer. I mean, I think of that too. And I don't know. I mean, I think that he was conscious for So a lot of them said like most likely he lost conscious immediately. But no one's ever said definitively if that happened. And Karen Reed saying he didn't look mortally wounded, like makes me think that he was conscious for a moment, for a little bit. But like hypothermia is a peaceful way to die. Hopefully he wasn't in pain. But I don't know. It's such a waste. Like it's such bullshit. Like it should have never happened. And at the end of the day, you can't even like think. It's just unbelievable. She never said that he went in the house. Like, it's just, she waited a year. She waited like a year and a half to start pushing out this like nonsense. Like after they sold their house, after they did this and that. And that was then used to be like, oh, well, they sold the house and they did this and they did that. Through Turtle Boy. So it's like, Turtle Boy is not an investigative journalist. Like people just need to understand that. And he is just pushing out Karen's narrative that has changed so many times with each bit of evidence. And, you know, like the feds are coming. We have texts from Karen telling Turtle Boy the feds are coming next week. Or like, I think by June or July or whatever. The feds never came. And I guess they closed the, who knows? Like, so they sent letters or they notified the people that like the investigation was over. But then Yannetti said in court last week that he had like a subpoena from the federal government. Who knows what he's talking about? I agree with Proctor in his assessment of Karen. I mean, she is a whack job. Just imagine. Imagine if you were drunk, you freaked out, you hit your boyfriend, and then instead of, you know, accepting, like saying, I'm sorry and, you know, accepting your punishment, you blame all your friends for it. You just blame everyone and they all know you're a lying piece of shit. And I mean, that's what went on in this case. They all know she's lying and she's like making up things about their kids. Like she's just dragging everybody into it and she doesn't care. Like I don't know. I can't even imagine myself being in that situation. It's an awful situation to be in, 100%, but you did what you did. And there's no way around it. Yeah, because she went to jail one night and she didn't get to like, that's the only reason she doesn't want to go. I had to move. My computer was dying. She's an evil, vile human. She is faux show. I mean, people are just out of their mind. Yeah, I can't wait to see what comes out of the whole I don't know. I think that Hank has some stuff up his sleeve. I think he knows, like he covered all his bases. So he had an accident reconstructionist take John's car and Karen's car and crash them together at multiple speeds to make sure that, you know, to prove that, you know, the taillight didn't break there. Without that, like, reasonable doubt of her breaking the taillight in the driveway, there's nothing else. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, her taillight definitely broke in front of the 34 Fairview. It broke on something, and it had to have been John. Like, I think that if he has that, like all this other nonsense, it's gonna, it's to distract. They're gonna try to do as much as they can to distract, but I've always seen those lines on his arm. Like I knew those lines on his arms were never from a dog. They're too parallel. They're too mechanical. They're too shallow. Like there's no depth to them, and that's not what a dog bite looks like. So, I mean, that's never been, even when I believed the conspiracy for 3 days, like the dog bites was like the part that I was worried about. Like when they were doing something with, trying to get, something with the DNA. I think they were trying to get the DNA tested or tested for dog DNA. And I was on that side thinking, I was like, oh, I don't think they should do that. Because then that's going to rule out and then I was like, why am I thinking like this? Because I was starting to get invested on that side, I think. His cuts were not swabs, but his clothes were swabbed. Well, most of the time, cuts are not swabbed unless it's there's a few situations when they swab cuts, but those weren't cuts, they were abrasions. So if it's a penetrating wound, they'll often swab it, but they don't swab abrasions. I mean, that's the thing. And Free Karen Reed people really need to face reality, because that last trial was a gift to her. There were so many surprises that aren't going to be surprises this time around. So the inverted video was a surprise that nobody noticed it, and it was a surprise to them. But since then, we learned that that's how it always records, and so now they have evidence of that, so they're not going to be caught off guard by that. It's just, it's not going to be a big thing like it was last time. Colin Albert got, he knows they're going to bring up his Snapchat and his knuckles and all this. I think Colin Albert was a good witness overall. I think there was nothing that they got him on. He just seemed, and I think that the jury didn't think anything of him. I think that the way that they were treating him was I think the jury probably didn't like the defense after that. After the way that they talked to Jen McCabe and Colin Albert, I think the jury probably started to resent the defense. So hopefully they, oh yeah, John's cell phone battery temp. That's going to be an interesting one, because I don't know, if she was blowing up his phone, wouldn't that keep it warm, sort of? So it's going to be interesting to see what that data shows. So I think a lot of the Free Karen Reed people are saying, oh, well, he manually locked his phone at 12:32, which is true. I saw it in the filing today. But his last steps were at 12:32 and 36 seconds or something. So what I think happened is Jen McCabe called, it rang on the Bluetooth. Karen was shut that off. And then he grabbed her glass to get out of the car and was I don't want you coming in, whatever he said to her. And she started to pull away and then got pissed and backed up. So I think that the call that came in the car caused Karen to kick him off the Bluetooth. The time across town, I think that's going to be super easy to prove, because I've done it. It's 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. Because MapQuest is giving you, or Google Maps or whatever, it's giving you the time with traffic with lights. But at night, after the bars close, Canton, nothing's open in Canton. Nobody's on the road. You can get there real quick. It doesn't matter. It's not a 6 to 8 minute trip. Hell no, unless there's traffic. Traffic is the only problem. And Canton is so small that traffic is the only problem. How do you manually lock your phone while it's under you? Well, at 12:32, he didn't take his last steps yet, so it wasn't under him yet. It's probably in his hand. So the documentary, I think, is damning for her. Pulling the glass out of his face, that just makes me think that she went back to the body at some point before bringing the girls back, because his heart wasn't still pumping. So her saying that she pulled the glass out and then blood, I think she said poured out, or I don't think she said squirted. if that happened. I don't know why she would make that up, but I mean, if that did happen, it didn't happen in the morning when she found him with Jen and Carrie. It had to have happened earlier in the night, which means that she let him die in the cold. Gosh, is what I think she said. Yeah, I think she did say something like that. Which is just such a strange thing to say. Oh my God, McKinsey Esquire, she is an idiot. Like she's grifting hardcore. She's trying to say that common sense is that they beat him up inside the house. Like that's the opposite of common sense. That all these people like beat him up knowing that Karen Reed's sitting outside in the car, knowing that she's coming in, and then decided the best course of action is to put him on the front lawn. And they all just went to bed. And there was no blood anywhere. There was no footprints. There was no drag marks. Nothing. Like that's her common sense. So yeah, have fun watching that one. All right. So Jen calling someone in the house and saying someone's on the way. That's been debunked for a year. So that Karen, so this is more bad about Karen. So Karen calls John O'Keefe as she finds the body. She knew they were pulling up to the house. She knew where he was. So she calls his voicemail so she could record herself having a panic attack finding him. Karen is beyond guilty. Like she is beyond guilty. And so she's recording herself finding John O'Keefe's body. And she puts her phone on the ground. And in the dash cam, you see her. She just casually comes back and picks up the phone and puts it in her pocket. So like if it was dropped on the ground, you would think, and it's the snow all over the ground. Like, would you remember where your phone was in this panicked like mode where you're finding your boyfriend dead on the ground? Would you remember that you dropped your phone exactly where it was? The way that she picks it up in the dash cam, you can see that she wasn't like looking around for it. She knew exactly where it was. She like placed it on the ground and let it record. I mean, that's damning. And so that recording has Jen McCabe in the background calling 911. And someone aligned it with the 911 call. And so you can't hear Jen because she's kind of far away. But at some point, like I think they try to make it out to say like, she was calling her sister saying like, someone's coming out to help. But someone lined it up with the 911 call and she's still talking to 911 at the time. And what she's saying is there's blood coming out of his nose and she's trying to keep her voice down. It sounds like she's probably trying not to upset the other two more. And she's saying, I think he's dead. So she's kind of keeping her voice down. And that's what it is. It aligns perfectly with the 911 call. Like there's no even dispute about that. And all of those calls that say answered, so Jen McCabe's, so this is Richard Green, the scumbag from St. Pete, misrepresenting data. So he said like she deleted all of her calls from that morning, including the 911 call. But if you look at her call log, they're all consecutive and those are all calls that are no longer on her recent calls. So no, she didn't delete them. They are just, there's more recent calls and the old calls get pushed off and that's all it is. Like he can't read the data. Like he's completely incompetent or he's doing it purposely to create a narrative. I don't know which one, but it's interesting. Well, the crime scene wasn't in the house. The crime scene was out on the street. Who was going to blame Lucky? Like that whole narrative. All right. So people are always saying that. Jen pivoted and told everyone to blame Karen Reed that morning. They were going to blame Lucky. Who was going to blame Lucky? Karen is the only one that said anything about a plow. And she was saying it before even leaving the house. Like, was Karen going to blame Lucky? Like, who was going to blame Lucky? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. And if all these people did beat him up and a dog bit him, you think they're just going to plop him out there with all their DNA all over him? And they're cops. They're like, oh, we'll just put him out there with all our DNA all over them. And like, we'll just say, I don't know, whatever happened. Like, it makes no sense. But no one was going to blame Lucky except for Karen. That was Karen was going to blame Lucky. And that's probably why her private investigator talked to Lucky within the first few days. And whatever was said in that conversation, they didn't tell any authorities about it, right? So allegedly he saw a Ford Edge. I think he saw Karen's car there. And that's why they didn't go to authorities with it. Because if he legitimately saw like some other person out there by the body, you don't think that the defense team would have told the cops to go like investigate like there was a car out there? No, they didn't, because it's a lie. Because they convinced Lucky to say certain things. Like, don't say it's a Lexus, say it's a Ford Edge. Say it's this, say it's that. Or convinced him that it was. They took advantage of him. Just like they take advantage of all of the Free Karen Read supporters. He said he saw a Ford Edge. All right. We know that now. That's what he said eventually. But we have like his recorded interviews with multiple different people. And he's always saying he started at different times. He's saying like he saw the car at different times. Like he's not consistent. Even what he said does not align with the facts. In trial, he said that he passed by Fairview and he was stopped as he came back up Fairview, which would mean that he drove by when Karen was on the front lawn, because all of the ambulances and everything weren't there yet to block the road. And that's what he said. We see him on the dash cam driving by on Cedar Crest when it was only the one cop's car there. So the road wasn't blocked at that point. So he just does not know what he's talking about, or he's lying. I don't think they lied about Fairview not being plowed. I mean, I do think that they should have done a better job finding who plowed Fairview. I think they were told, I mean, in the trial, they were told that, I don't know, it was a contractor or by the yard or something. I don't even remember. But they should have followed up with that for sure. I think they didn't follow up with a lot of things that they probably should have sooner. Ugh. Well, Proctor wasn't there. He didn't go to the crime scene that morning, so he wouldn't know if it was plowed or not. He did talk to the plow, whatever it was, the city guy, and that was testimony in the trial. The cop showed him a not Ford Edge in the police car park and said that one. Lucky answered yes. I don't think it was it the cop? Or was that the PI? I think it was the PI that showed him, wasn't it? I can't remember. I thought it was the PI that showed him the Ford Edge. Maybe it was the cop, though. I can't remember. I think it's very easy. So even not just for Lucky, but like in general, it's easy to influence witnesses. Because most people don't see everything and they don't notice everything. So all you have to be is like, oh, well, you got to text at this time, right? And it's like, it's not like they're trying to manipulate to change the testimony either. It's just that they need it to be like locked down to a certain time frame and stuff. And so people are suggestive. Like, do you think Jen McCabe knew what time she looked out the window every time? Hell no. She just looked at her text and tried to like piece it together. No one's going to remember that kind of stuff. Narcissistic people can plant false memories through manipulation. Yeah, I mean, the entire Free Karen Read movement is gaslighting. Like, she says something and then Turtle Boy is coming out saying it means this or only taking a piece of it. Like, I'm just trying to think of an example because it's so frequent and it's so crazy because they all do repeat it. Oh, like it was cracked, not shattered. Like, that's just semantics. That means nothing. And like a lot of people will be like I showed the video of Karen's car at 8 a.m. and they're all like, well, it doesn't look like it's shattered into 47 pieces. And they're all like, there's a bunch of them saying the same exact thing. It's like so crazy. Like, nobody knows how many pieces. Like, if you have a broken window and this piece is missing, you don't know if it's one big chunk or 47 pieces. Like, it's just such a stupid thing, but it's like a way to, push out an answer, like Turtle Boy's basically giving them an answer to everything. even though it makes no sense. And they don't even know that it makes no sense because they are just like repeating. Like they haven't thought about the evidence for themselves. Yeah, I don't know if Tristan's going to be. I don't think he's on the Commonwealth's list, but he was like super argumentative about what time, and it's probably because he doesn't remember, or like, I think there was a controversy around Caitlin Albert's time that she left the house. I think on some report it said 12:15, and then she was the last one to leave. Because I remember them confronting, I think, the mother. He's like, why did you say there was 12:15? She's like, I never said that. But it could just be that they were writing down times. Oh, I should look for that. So there is a better picture of the taillight on the shorts video of the docu-series. Name the testimony that changed everything. I should get that. Because mine is from court, which it's like a recording of a screen in the courtroom, and I don't even think it's a TV. I think it's a projection screen or something. So it's like not good quality. They didn't invert the video. The feds even verified that that's the way that camera recorded. So it was a surprise to them. And that's what I mean by like Karen got so lucky in the first trial. Because like the Commonwealth didn't even notice that, and then the defense got to like catch them off guard with that. But like this time around, it's like, okay, well that's actually not like a thing. It's just the way it records. But the first time around, they didn't know, and they weren't prepared for it. He didn't look mortally wounded. Exactly. Who said like? I mean, that's the biggest mistake she's made, I think. I mean, if Hank gets the rest of that interview, or if there's other interviews like that where she said too much and they took it out, because even that, like he wasn't mortally wounded, never made it into the actual show, but it was in a promo for the show. And that's the only way that I've only seen it once, on a promo. And, so they didn't put that piece in the show. But that's like so damning. Like he didn't look mortally wounded. I thought I could have clipped him. He didn't look mortally wounded. Like, and a lot of the Free Karen Read people don't even know that she ever said that. A lot of them don't watch her interviews because they know that they're bad and they don't want to change their minds. So they limit that stuff, and they just watch Turtle Boy to interpret everything for them, to tell them what to think, to say, oh, it wasn't in 47 pieces. It might have been broken, it might have been cracked, but it was not shattered. Like, nonsense. They were able to go back to the beginning of the year to show that the camera always recorded that way. So, I mean, and the feds even checked it out. I saw that crazy girl. Oh, did I download that today? I should watch it because she's crazy. She's mental. Oh, I don't know if I got it. Let me see. Did I have it? No. You know the crazy girl? It's like Nerdy Pink Panda or something. She like has a video today where she's like, it's not John O'Keefe's hat. And I mean, she had me going for a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of trying to see. I don't know. I just can't tell if it's like because it's like poor quality, like camera, like it's pixelated. I can't see if it's, but she's saying it's not the same hat. Like they put a fake hat there. And I mean, my logic is like, hell no. But like, I do see what she's saying. It does look different, but I don't know if that's because it's like pixelated, like it's not high quality, or it was like wet. So like the embroidery expanded. I can't get a good look at it, but I feel like that would have been noticed by the defense team if that was true. Oh no, people are making fun of me on different sites big time. Oh no, I'm so scared. I really care what a bunch of like murderer simps think. That's my biggest concern in life is what the people that can't think for themselves think about me. Like, come on. Those are the last people that I care what they think. Actually, I hope they don't like me. I don't want murder simps to like me. I like the way she stared down Brennan. I mean, I just think she's whacked. She is whacked. She's just such a narcissist. She doesn't even... it's just unbelievable. It's like, all of this is really unbelievable because, I mean, beyond a reasonable doubt, she did it. And like, you know, as soon as you look at the actual facts of the case, like, you know that beyond a reasonable doubt, she did it. And she's acting this way towards witnesses, towards the prosecutor, when she knows she's guilty. Like, I'm like, sometimes I used to think like maybe she really doesn't remember, but like now I'm like, she knows that she did it. You can see it in her face because she kind of gets the smirk when she has to lie. When she has to say like, I never hit John with my car. She used to have a really hard time lying when she was on the courthouse steps and someone was like, just to be clear, you didn't do it. She couldn't answer no. But then like her next interview came around and she was like, I did not hit John with my car. I've never harmed a hair on his head. And she has like such a like stone face. Like, you can tell that she's practiced. Because they were like, you can't like hesitate. Like, that's the big thing about lying. Like, you can't hesitate. You have to just confidently say it right away. And that's what she's trying to do. But it's like so fake to me. She knows she did it. Like, she knows. She knows. In Massachusetts, does the judge get to choose the sentence? Or I don't even know. I watch cases in a lot of other states a lot of the time, so I don't even know. Like, sometimes it's the jury. Duper's Delight. I can't even make it sound real enough. It just seems so fake. She was nodding her head yes while saying no. I'm not convinced her words make her guilty. I'm convinced that the evidence makes her guilty and that her words convince me that she had some intent. I mean, her words, if she shut her mouth and acted like, this mountain of evidence would still be there, but if she acted like a normal human being, she would get a manslaughter easily. But it's like what she's doing and like this, what she's creating, it's making it very obvious that she is vindictive. She's evil. And I just cited the actual evidence multiple times. Car data shows her backing up and hitting something. His phone stops moving at the same exact time. There's no other explanation why her car's all banged up. You know, those three things are pretty, you can't really get around that. So you can say butt dial, Sally Port, Collins Knuckles, dog bites, anything else you want. Google searches, the feds are coming, but it doesn't change those facts. And those facts are, and Stop and Shop bag, that's another one. I need a list. Stop and Shop, Solo cups. I mean, none of those things change the facts. I mean, that evidence, it was his blood, so it's not like, I mean, maybe some of it was her blood. I wonder if, I don't think they tested that blood. I bet it was her blood. And that's why she had to make up the lie about plucking the glass out of his face. But I don't think they tested it. I think they tested maybe one of them because they figured it was all the same blood, but like some of that blood probably was hers. There is definitely a banged up car. I mean, what are you talking about? Oh, the filled in pool. That's another one. Filled in pool. Like, it's like this Tourette's of nonsense. Like, that's her defense. There's no coherent defense. Because like in one breath they're saying Solo cups, Stop and Shop bag, the investigation was incompetent. And then the next breath they're saying they planted evidence and framed her so well that there's like just a mountain of evidence. But they were so sloppy that they used a Stop and Shop bag and Solo cups. Like, which is it? Pick a lane. Like, it can't be both. I mean, Proctor's text just showed that he was messy. He's saying, you know, talking like frat boy to all his friends. Like, that's not a cover up. That is him being messy. Blaming others for what I am doing. The new jurors are going to be, I mean, it sucks because it's like, as a juror, you want to, like, most people are going to go in, I think unless a free Karen Reed gets on the jury, but like, for the most part, people are going to want to go in and do the right thing and listen to the evidence and not be influenced. I just think that the media and everything around this case is going to be very hard for them to avoid. And if you like land in comment sections or anything, she has the majority in most comment sections. And that is, a lot of people do want to do the popular thing. I mean, even that's her whole goal of this campaign. It wasn't about, because it wasn't about pushing any specific narrative. Like, they have like all these third-party culprits, right? Like, there's no coherent story. It's just they just want to throw out all these things, but there is no real evidence that shows anything else happened besides Karen killed John. I feel like, I don't know. Like, so like what makes me think she's going to get guilty this time is like last time they almost got a guilty on manslaughter. And that was with all of they had a lot of mistakes. Like the Sally Port was a big mistake. Proctor's text, I mean, they were very unprepared for that. I think Proctor was like even reading like, oh my God, Matt McCabe was very unprepared for some of his texts, which they took out of context to try to say, oh, the guy didn't come in the house. Or the Asian house, like try to get the Asians on the jury against him. And, you know, there was like a few things, like, I'm trying to think if they even like got Jen McCabe on anything. I don't remember. Like Chris Albert, I thought was a very good witness. Like they didn't get him on anything. Like he cleared up all the rumors. Julie Albert, I think, was caught off guard because they were like, how many times did you talk to Courtney Proctor? And she said not that often. And they were like, oh, it's 47 times or whatever it was. So she was caught off guard. But none of it like amounted to anything. The jurors didn't give a shit. The jurors, you know, still were like, okay, she hit him. Like even the ones that like, even the affidavits that were like, we voted not guilty, and it's because the hypothermia killed him, not Karen's car. Or they were like, I think it was like the muddiness around, because the medical examiner's like, well, it could be a car, but he could have fell, and it could be a punch, and it could be this, and it could be anything in the world, but it's a blunt force trauma. And that's basically like her testimony. And then the ARCA guys came in to cause some confusion. But like this time around, they covered all their bases. She's not going to be able to say she backed into his car. I mean, I think that's huge. I don't think a normal person would ever believe that anyway. But I mean, to prove it, I mean, that's huge. Because then there's no other option. Bang, bang. Colin was in the house. Bang, bang. I'm making a list because I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but something funny. Because it's a circus. This case is a circus. I mean, the medical examiners in a lot of cases do act this way where they don't want to commit to anything. They just tell you all the possibilities. But in her report, she specifically put not caused by a fight or something along those lines. But she didn't really like back that up in her testimony. So it's like you put that in writing. But then when they're like, well, could he have been punched? She's like, yes, that wound could come from a punch. But like she should be like, Yes, but the reason that I put that on my report is because the combination of the wounds, it proves that it's not a fight, right? But they're asking like one wound at a time. So like, oh yes, that could be like a bat or something or whatever. So, but now they have better experts. Colin not in the house the same time as John. I mean, that's one of the dumbest things ever, because I think everyone knew what Ally McCabe was saying. And like that was something that was taken out of context, and that's how we know you're in a cult. Because it's not something a normal person would think. It was something that Turtle Boy said, and then you all started repeating. So either that's Turtle Boy or it's one of his cult members. Well, and they're all the same. They share the same brain, so it's not like it's a difference. It's a Turtle Boy extension. Yeah, I mean, he could have fell back, and I mean, maybe that's why the jurors... I mean, I think this time they're going to have a more exact... Like, Trooper Paul was not that impressive with his testimony. I think what he said is probably what happened, but it wasn't, like, he wasn't that confident in it, and he wasn't that exact. But I think this time around they're going to have, like, someone better to be a lot more exact. And what person did Higgins see come into the house? So, like, that whole thing, like, they didn't really get into that. So I don't know. Like, he said it in some testimony. It's not, I think probably the Fed grand jury. But to me, in my opinion, Higgins was drunk. Higgins did not remember things because Higgins was sloppy. Like, if they murdered someone, like, that's the thing you got to think of. If they murdered someone, they'd be in lockstep with their stories. They obviously were all like regular eyewitnesses. Like, half of them don't remember. They don't remember the exact things. And like, that's what you're missing, is that if they did murder someone, he's a detective. He would have had his story all mapped out exactly. He's trying to remember on the spot and he doesn't remember. And that's like the same thing with the butt dials. These are the facts, whether you like them or not. I know that you really want Colonel Reed to be like running around murdering everybody, but I don't know. You might have a thing for whack jobs with the Tito's problem. AJ did act like a bully to the witnesses. I think that's kind of... Who wants to be in Turtle Boy's good graces? Like, ugh. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't understand, like, the whole Turtle Boy thing at all. Like, why does anyone even care what he thinks about anything? He's a liar. Like, thanks for the super sticker. Keep it real. Thanks, Jack D65. Like, especially, like, finding this out now, that he wasn't doing investigative journalism at all. He was pushing propaganda for a murder suspect. And that's why everyone's so misinformed about the facts of this case, because they only heard Karen Reed's side through Turtle Boy, thinking that he's like an investigative journalist. But Turtle Boy's always been super one-sided. He's not like a real journalist. He's like a gossip columnist, really. He like just talks about, like, you know, people are in a divorce and it's all this trash about one side. You know, he takes one side or he gets some money to like bash the other person. Like, that's what he does. And that's why he was brought into this. And like in that documentary, the way that he got involved is completely different than what we heard in the past. In the past, we heard that it was Natalie. Was it Natalie? Oh no, Jen Altman connected, like saw the Karen Reed case and then got Turtle Boy involved. And then like Natalie, I don't even know. I don't even remember. But it was something like that. Like, it was something in that group. And Jen Altman is also the one that they pretended was an attorney so that when Turtle Boy was arrested, she could talk to him or something. Like, he could only talk to his attorney. I don't know what the rule was. But she pretended to be an attorney or something so that, so that his calls with her wouldn't be recorded. So he lied so that he could still be pushing like stories out. So he pretended she was an attorney. But in the documentary, it was like Karen's friend John Silviera is the one that like hooked Turtle Boy up with her. So I don't know which one's true at this point. Who knows what's true? I don't know why. I don't even know what the difference is. like why would there be two stories about that? I don't know. It's so strange. Maybe someone's taking credit. Maybe Jen Altman wanted to take more credit for the story. And so like maybe that part was made up or exaggerated. Who knows? But it does seem like everyone wants to, you know, like the Roccos like kind of like stood in and got Turtle Boy's spot when he went to jail. And he hated that. And the whole thing is just garbage. Like who wants to be on that side with the murderer? With the one that's harassing everyone? Did Turtle Boy tell Higgins to say he's seen someone come into the house? I doubt it. Who knows? You know, like, because Stephen Scanlon, that whole situation is very, like, strange. So Stephen Scanlon was, like, the first, like, informant. And there's been a million different versions of that story as well. And so, originally, or, like, what I think happened is that in the town, he was found on Brian Albert's lawn. Rumors in the town were like a beating, right? I think that rumors just started flurrying around the town. And that's why they were like, tell him the guy never went in the house, to the media, because they knew these rumors were growing. And Stephen Scanlon heard something, like probably heard some of these rumors, and then reached out to Karen Reed and was like, oh, I'll investigate it for you or something. And then whatever happened in that meeting he met with David Yannetti, both of them don't agree with what happened. So like David Yannetti says that he said, I know that he was beat in the house and blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you how I know and da, da, da. But Stephen Scanlon says, no. They told me that and I didn't know anything. I just was saying that I'll help investigate. And I took $1,600 from them or something. I think it was $1,600. And then I decided to give it back because I had a conflict of interest. So the whole thing is sketchy because Stephen Scanlon was a friend of Brian Albert's. And it does seem like maybe he thought it was true. He heard the rumor, wanted in, and then realized like, I actually don't know anything. It's very strange. It's very sketchy. And like he's on the witness list. I hope they call him. I mean, I just feel like sunlight's the best disinfectant. Call all these people out and see what really happened. You know, like, I mean, just for the good of everybody. Like I'm interested to know exactly what went down. But then that means that David Yannetti would have to be like a witness. Like, I don't know. You can't call him as a witness. But in the civil suit, all of this stuff is going to come out. In the criminal trial, like it's going to be a lot more, well, they try to make it a lot more direct, but I'm very curious as to what happened with Stephen Scanlon. Yeah, I'm just so curious if he was like really said that he knew something or if he just heard a rumor and repeated it. I mean, there was definitely rumors, and that's how it took off. Just like in the Idaho 4 case, the rumors when they didn't have a suspect yet were, you know, the frat. It was something to do with like the Greek life, the roommates. Why didn't the roommates call 911 until the next day? It was like this big like cover up and the frat did it. I think there's still people that want that story. And I feel like that was the story that like I was drawn to the most because it's a cover up, right? But then like when they arrested the guy and they started like, you know, to me, like, okay, facts are facts and the story's over. But some people cling on to that because I still have videos that I made way back when before we knew who it was. And it was like the 4chan post. There was someone writing on 4chan that was like, I can see their room from my bedroom and it's only an 18-minute walk or a 10-minute walk or something like that. And it was like, it was really creepy. And they named like 2 kids in the frat that did it. And they said they've been talking about like murder since they were kids. And I was like very interested in that 4chan post because I'm like, who the hell would write that if it's not true? I was very interested in that storyline. And you know, if I was like a freak, then I would have been like, oh, no, Brian Koberger's innocent. And I think people are doing that. And I don't know if they're trying to still blame the frat or who they're blaming, but you know, I understand why people are drawn to certain stories, and I am too. But like, once you start seeing facts, you have to like adjust. But the truth will set you free. Oh yeah, AJ saying what collision a few minutes after the collision. That was iconic. I mean, I think Richard Allen most likely did it. Like the trial wasn't public, right? I mean, I think it's sketchy. I think everything about it's sketchy. I don't really know enough about it to have like a real thought on it. But I would assume that he did it. Like, he seemed sketchy. I think he like admitted to doing some stuff, and I don't know, like, did his wife ever say anything? Like, so my big thing is with the Richard Allen thing, and that's like the Delphi murders. Like, that was a super creepy, horrible case with 2 little girls in the woods, and, you know, video that just came out. It's horrifying. And my whole thing is that town had like, I don't even remember what it was, like 2,000 people or something. Like, there's no people in that town. And like, so this murder happens, and they have the video of the guy on the bridge. I mean, if that was Richard Allen, his wife knew that was him. Like, without a doubt, she would know his clothes. She would know his like walk. And she just like turned a blind eye, didn't say anything. It's kind of weird. Richard Allen confessed 60 times. I know. I've heard that he's confessed a lot. I mean, I think the Odinism thing was a joke. That's the one thing that I did read. There was like an Odinism. They were trying to say like on the tree there was like some like, I don't even know. The blood splatter was like done in like, they were trying to say it was like some symbol. And I looked at those pictures and I was immediately like, no, this is a Karen Reed defense team. Like, that is not anything. I don't even remember what they were trying to say it was. A tree or something. I don't even remember. But it was like, obviously it was like nothing. And that was like the main argument for Odinism. It was like this, there was like this symbol on the tree, and it was just like blood. There was no design that I could see. I tried to like make myself see it, but I was like, hell no. I know exactly what this is. Why would a defense team work pro bono? This is a high profile case. It's the same reason why like law tubers are, like, defense attorneys make money. So prosecutors do not. They work for the government. They have a salary. It's like decent, but it's not like money. But defense attorneys make money. And to be on a high profile case, like, you want like a wealthy murderer. Like, they all do. They want to defend a wealthy murderer. And so that's why they would do this pro bono. Because it's going to get them out there. Their next client, because like maybe a lot of their clients don't have a ton of money. Most people don't have a ton of money. But if you can get a wealthy client, like, you're set for good. Like the Menendez brothers, those attorneys, and this was back in 1995. So money was worth a lot more back then. Those attorneys, I think the first trial, they cleaned out the family's entire like life savings. And they got like $750,000 each, I think. I think there was some left over for the family, but almost $1 million for one trial. And that was so many years ago when money was a ton. It's worth a lot more. Like $750,000 then it's like probably like $3 million now or something. So like, you just need one of those and then you're pretty much set. And then you can just like chill out. But I think the trial, I don't even know why they're trying, what's her name again? Daybell, at the same time as Karen Reed. I mean, she's already in jail for life, so why even waste the resources prosecuting her again? It's like for a different murder, but like, God, I can't stand that woman. She's crazy. She sold her house, but I think she so Karen Reed sold her house, but I think she sold her house because she paid them with like IOUs from her house or something. So I think she probably like gave them a lien on the house or like took out money from her house to like pay them. And so she sold the house to probably pay off that debt and just be done with it. I mean, I don't think that the dog was barking. And some dogs don't. My dog does not bark, and my dog is a German Shepherd. Like I'm honestly like my dog. So the last dog that I had was he was like a Chow Retriever, and if I heard a sound, and he was like kind of like a lazy dog most of the time, but if I heard a sound, he would like bust his chest out, and he looked scary, and he would go see what's going on. He'd bark. He would like pounce on the door, like if the mailman came. Like he was scary. Like a lot of people are scared of him. This dog, it like hears a sound and it like he lets me go first and he's like tiptoeing behind me. I shouldn't even be saying that because I want people to think he's an attack dog. And maybe one day he will be. But he's still young, but it's like very different. Like he doesn't bark at sounds. Like he's verbal with me. He'll bark at me to tell me things. If he wants things, but like he might just be too young yet. I don't know. But some dogs just don't bark. Or like aren't alert dogs like that. Right. And I mean, that's the whole thing too. If they went outside, they would just cry. So I think that they didn't wake up. Like he was traveling all day. You know, there's lots of flashing lights because the plows were in the street. I think that they didn't even notice. And, you know, they woke up when Jen McCabe went inside. But then at that point, why go outside? He was already taken away. And, you know, there was nothing to go outside for. And they probably talked about it. They were probably like, oh, I'm not going to go out there. Like, because that would be like he's tampering with the crime scene if he did go out there. Your Sheppy will defend you if needed. I don't know. I think maybe. I saw like there was a weird homeless person walking towards me today, and I was like, oh my God, what would the dog do if he just like grabbed me or something? I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder if he would. I feel like maybe he would. Like he definitely is like, he's getting like loyal to me. Like he's like 6 months old, so he's still a puppy. German Shepherds do not leave bruises. He's not left any marks on me. He bites me all the time. Do the Alberts have sleep apnea? I mean, I feel like especially as you get older, you sleep through things. I feel like I wake up easy. What's the name of the video when Aiden is crying? It's in the intro. I don't know. My video? I remember I did make a video when he was like going to jail and crying about being in jail. And I put like the filter on him so he was like... I don't know. I feel like that was like an old... Probably around that time whenever he was arrested. When was he arrested? That was like in 2023, right? It was like November. No, he got arrested on like New Year's or something, I think. I'll see you. Zeus, come here. Come here. Come. Come here. Oh, come here. This is what he looks like. I think he would attack people. Eventually. Right? I'm so sleepy. 12:26. So yeah, so the video is probably like that time frame. Oh, he's so lazy. He does look tough. So I had movers, like I moved into this apartment and they were like so scared when they came in and saw him. Cause he kind of looks like a mountain lion or something. And he's super like he'll jump up. But he's very calm right now. He probably needs to go outside. You want to go outside? He's part husky. He was a rescue. So I'm guessing that he's shepherd. Like to me, he looks like a German shepherd. His mother was a husky. But I just thought he was so pretty. Like he was the prettiest one. The other ones, they all had blue eyes. Some of them had 2 different color eyes. But he had like 2 blue eyes, and he looked kind of evil, and that's why I liked him. Like I liked his dark eyeliner and his eyes. He's so pretty. Pretty. He's so tired today. I don't know why. He didn't even do anything today. I think he probably ate something today. Like ate some. He was like coughing or something. Yeah, he lets me do pedicures, which I've never had a dog let me do that before. Like my chow would fight me to the death if I try to like do his nails like with the grinder. This dog lets me do it. He doesn't even care. He's like not scared of anything. Like if I'm drilling something or putting something together, like hammering something, he's like laying right next to it, like putting his head like in between the hammer and the nail. Like he doesn't even give a shit. Aw. But my chow was like afraid of everything. He's 6 months, April 2nd. He was born October 2nd. Yeah, he's a snuggle. He's not tough yet, though. He's not afraid of anything, though. So I guess that my chow was afraid of things. But I feel like that's why he was more aggressive, kind of, because he was scared. I mean, he wasn't really aggressive, but like I would watch him around people. But this one loves everything. He loves animals. He loves people. And he just wants to like hang out. He wants to play. I could never be a cat person. I feel like when I had the chow though, people used to say that a chow is basically like almost like having a cat. But he wasn't. He was very loyal. Like a cat doesn't care about you. He's so heavy. He's like 50 pounds now. So I don't know how big he's going to get. I think he'll probably be 70 pounds, maybe. I don't know. Could be big. But I have to walk him and then put him in his bed because it's nighty-night time. His name is Zeus. Zeus. I don't know how many, I don't know. I'm wondering, because like a lot of times they say like the growth spurt ends at like 8 months, and they still grow, like big dogs still grow to like almost 2, but it's like very slow going after the first 8 months. Like they thicken up. They'll be like thin and almost their full size, but like they thicken up like after 8 months. I kind of like how I can carry him still though, but probably not for long. I could be on the next jury. You never know. Imagine. And so Karen Reed's like the only case where I'm like, I've ever been like so sure. Because most of the time, and I mean, it's because we've already been through a trial too. But like, the defense strategy is just so obvious that she's guilty. I mean, there's just no, it's not a normal defense strategy, and like harassing and witnesses and all that. I just think the consciousness of guilt is just very obvious. Masshole Mafia just posted a video. The Femme Fatale. It's probably going to be a good one. I think everyone should go watch it. I'm going to log off. I'm going to take him for a walk. I'm going to watch her video. But I will be on who knows when. I'm going to try to do it more regularly. But to all, a good night.
You have to believe all of the McAlberts who testified. And so am I correct in saying that they found the McAlberts to be convincing witnesses and truth tellers?
Correct.
She stated to Miss McCabe, could I have hit him? Did I hit him?
She didn't say that. Who said? Jen McCabe says she said that.
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
The firefighter said that she said that too.
Who's the firefighter?
Repeated, I hit him.
Katie McLaughlin, who's her best friend?
She's not a close personal friend of mine.
John O'Keefe and Karen Reed never entered my house.
12 people didn't see a guy go in the house. Like, that's what you were relying on.
12 people also didn't see a body when they left.
I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the grounds by the flagpole. I also was not looking out my window.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did anybody in this courtroom ask you if you were looking out your window?
I wouldn't be staring at her grass, so no.
Okay. I didn't ask you where you were staring.
Karen, we saw you outside of my sister's.
I saw the black SUV arrived.
There was another vehicle in front of us.
Up the hill towards us?
On the same road coming from the opposite direction.
It was a black SUV.
I've noticed a male and a female in the car.
A car length and a half in front of me.
There was another car that I hadn't recognized before. It was a dark SUV.
Saw it pull up, stopped, pulled up again, stopped, pulled up again by the flagpole, stopped. That's all I saw.
Just turned around and looked through the blinds.
It wasn't going 50 miles an hour, correct?
I mean, I didn't have a radar gun on me, but no.
Goes up the driveway and approaches the side door.
0 people have said that they saw him enter the home.
Because he's dead.
And at any point in time, did you see anybody exit from that vehicle at any point?
No.
You never saw anyone around the SUV, correct? Correct.
Ryan Nagel didn't see him go in the house because he ran. Because he was real quick. Because he ran because it was cold out.
He must have ran real fast.
That makes sense to a lot of people. What doesn't make sense to anyone.
His phone did not enter that home.
Oh, really? Actually did.
That address. One of those individuals is dead and the other individual is alive. Ultimately, and there's damage to the vehicle, then that individual must be responsible for.
So he was going up and down the stairs between 12:21 and 12:24.
Waze says he didn't get there till 12:24.
The Waze does not say that.
They were with the ascending, descending stairs.
What the defense presented was concrete evidence by the most highly credentialed people and experts in this country.
There were also some puncture wounds in that shirt.
No!
I'm sorry, puncture wounds in the shirt?
Puncture holes.
Are you aware that Celebrite has had to modify their software based on misinterpretation of data, as you've done in this case?
Yes.
No!